Hey, so this is going to be a bit of a different video than normal. If you're only interested in illustration videos, please wait until next week and maybe give this one a miss, because next week I will be posting some looking back at my old foundation work and I'll be getting back on track with art videos. So now on to this video. I decided to film my experience with my endometriosis surgery and my recovery for a few reasons. Firstly, I did so much research on YouTube before this, and the few videos on here helped me so much. This surgery has been a long time coming for me. I have been going to doctors. This is so difficult for me to talk about. I don't know why. 10 years ago, I went to the GP for the first time complaining about cramps that were so unbearably painful that I was throwing up in school. I was literally crying in pain. I was taking painkillers and nothing was helping them. I just remember sitting in class shaking. I was 15. I remember shaking in pain and just not being able to concentrate on anything the teacher was telling me because I was in agony. It has slowly just gotten worse. Like now it's not just monthly anymore. It's a few times a month and it's impacting my life in many ways. And it's been awful. I went to see the doctor nearly every year since. I have seen 3 different gynae teams. I have had over 10 ultrasounds. I have ended up in A&E a good handful of times, once after physically just collapsing. And I know people have it a lot worse than me, but I'm just going to show my experience. And for that reason, and the fact that I think talking about this, no matter how difficult, is so important. It's just such a difficult thing to live with. People don't want to talk about it, and it has some things that are not nice to talk about, and that is why we should be talking about it even more, because nobody should have to live in pain. I know that surgery isn't always the answer, but for this condition it's the only way it can be diagnosed. So I really, more than anything else, I just wanted to know an answer, because I've been told I might have this, but I don't know, maybe I had something else. So it was really important for me to have this surgery. So I said yes, and I got a letter, and I went to a pre-op appointment, and then I got told my operation was in 2 weeks. I've never been so scared in my life. I've never had any kind of surgery. I've never been put under general anaesthetic. I've never had any of that stuff happen. So I went into the surgery knowing that I was very scared, but I desperately wanted answers, and they did find endometriosis, and they did do the excision surgery to remove it, and I decided to vlog and video this. So you're going to see me in my worst possible state, so mentally prepare yourself to see me looking awful. I'm filming on my phone, quality's not great, but I think it's really important to see my experience of endometriosis surgery, and also more importantly the recovery afterwards, because if you're going into this, it's kind of good to know what to expect, and so I'm gonna show that now. So I decided to video my experience because I think it's important that other people can see it, that other people can see that it is important to get answers, and also just so people that are going into this surgery maybe for the first time have a little bit of an idea of what to expect. So I'm just going to insert the clips of what I filmed in the hospital and also the days after. Please prepare yourself for just seeing me in the worst state possible. But what can I say? I want to keep it real. It's not a glamorous, nice looking condition. This isn't nice looking. It's not a happy condition. It's not a glamorous condition. No one's going to look great when they're in agony. So that's why I decided to film this completely raw and keep it very real. And I'm going to insert those clips now. I'm out. It's been a while in the recovery room. I'm in a lot of pain, but I'm out. It's really painful. Hey guys, so I am aware that I'm going to be looking progressively worse as this video has gone on, so please excuse that. But I am home. They didn't actually want, the first nurse, like the daytime nurse, didn't want to send me home because I was in so much pain and my temperature was high. But then I went to the toilet twice, you have to do that, and then the evening nurse said it was okay to go home. So I left at about 10:30, 11 p.m. last night, and I got home and I'm in so much pain. My incisions, I guess, are plastered over, but I can see they're bleeding, so I think I'm gonna have to ring somebody because I don't know what's normal and what's not. I've literally never felt pain like this. I didn't want to be like a negative Nancy, but I'm gonna be a little bit right now because my tummy's hurting so bad, like so bad, and I've also got pain in my chest and my shoulders, and I know that's the gas, but I wasn't expecting the pain to be this. Well, I don't know, it's hard to expect a pain that you've never experienced before. I'm sorry, I have to lean back. Yes, this is not fun. But I do want to film this as it is. I don't even know if I'll definitely post this, and I'll maybe video later and update you on how I'm feeling. But this was the main update, and the worst is over, so yay. I shall speak to you soon. Bye. So one last thing. When I was under during my operation, they gave me a lot of painkillers. They said they gave me 4 different types and 2 different anti-sickness and antibiotics and probably lots of other things. But now the only thing I have to take is, although the hospital were lovely, I've just not got very many painkillers. So I have paracetamol and antibiotics, and I don't know if any of you have had surgery. Paracetamol, do not cut it. So I am in unbelievable amounts of pain. I think I do actually have some codeine left over from my last painful burst, because when I was in A&E with tummy pain, they gave me codeine, but when I leave my operation, they don't. And maybe that's because of constipation. I'm honestly, I don't know. So I don't want to take it, but I think I'm going to ring my doctor and ask if I can take it, because they did give me codeine after the surgery yesterday at about 9 o'clock. So yeah, pain. No, not nice. I don't like pain. This is horrible. I'm trying to find something to watch on Netflix because I actually can't move. I can't even read my book. I don't even want to watch anything. I've laid here for the last hour and just stared at the wall, like the door in front of me. Like, I don't have any energy to do anything. And I'm just like going back and forth to the toilet, which is really painful. And like tires me out so much, so then I'm just back in bed. So that's pretty much my morning. Yeah. So far, not many things have helped, but the nurse recommended to me that I drink peppermint tea to help with the gas pain in my chest and my shoulders, and also in my tummy and everywhere. The gas pain is everywhere. She said because I was on the smaller side that it's like even more likely for like the gas to travel up. They couldn't get it all out, so yeah, nasty and really painful, like way more painful than you'd expect like trapped gas to be. But I've been drinking peppermint tea and it's the only thing that's actually helping me a little bit. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. So, as I said, I'm going to look worse as the video goes on. And obviously that is true. It's day 3. My foot is really bad and I feel awful. I'm in so much pain. And it doesn't seem to be getting worse. And I don't want this video to scare anyone. So hopefully I'll have better news soon. Okay, so this is my tummy button one, and there's some bruising around my tummy as well. My tummy is still very blown up as like too. I've still got a lot of the gas, I think, inside me. Even my shoulders are a bit blown up, which is kind of nasty. But okay, how am I going to do this without flashing? Okay, so this is the second one. Can you see it? There's 3 incisions. That's the second one. So that's a lot smaller than that one. Yeah, and then the third one, okay, I'm just going to sort the third one out for a minute. And that is the third one, so that's the third incision. I don't know, that one's quite low, so it's very hard to show you, but basically there's 3 incisions. The 2 bottom ones are a lot smaller than I expected. There we go, and back to my face. And there's nothing there. I did think it would be a lot better by now, but it's kind of not. But I did sleep a lot better last night than I did the other night. Yeah, so it's the second night I've had it. So I did sleep a lot better last night. I think it's because I took 2 codeines before I went to sleep, so it just helped a little bit. My tummy still hurts a lot and my back hurts a lot, but I'm moving slightly better than I was yesterday, so, you know, I take each little improvement as it comes. My throat is so sore though, like it's so painful, and my tummy is so blown up still. It, like I just showed you there, it's literally like it's like ballooned out. It's like solid blown up stomach, and it's my back as well, my shoulders. Yeah, it's still not good. Honestly, I did think I'd be a lot better by this. I underestimated how painful this is going to be, and I think it definitely varies from person to person, because when I was in the hospital, the lady, like, it was a queue of us, and the lady that was right next to me, she just got up, like, seconds after her surgery, was like, oh, I need the toilet, walked to the toilet on her own, fine, went fine, literally, not even long after, they just discharged her. She got her own shoes on, she got dressed, and she was fine, and I was like, oh, so maybe it's not too bad, but maybe she had a different surgery, I'm not sure, because my experience has been not like that at all. Like, I still wouldn't be able to tie my own shoes up, and it's day 3, so yeah, but I'll let you know how it goes. Hopefully things start to improve today, but we'll see. Today is day 4, and it's the first day that there has been a glimmer, tiny but glimmer of an improvement. I had a shower this morning and washed my hair. It definitely doesn't look like it, but I'm pretty sure I've left loads of shampoo in it, but it's hard to reach up. But I was able to wash and condition my hair, which was really nice. You feel a lot less gross when your hair's washed. I have taken my bandages off, which I have been putting off all week. I'm going to move this hot water. I've been taking off my bandages all week because I'm so scared of it. I'm not really very good at cuts or blood and things like that. So it was something that was scaring me a lot. But after I was in the shower, they were wet, so I decided I'd try and take them off. I was told to take them off actually the day before, but I was just too scared. But they weren't as bad as I expected, which was surprising. So the one on my tummy button was very red and doesn't look nice, but the other 2 are a lot smaller than I thought they were. So yeah, we'll see. I'm very sore though. My tummy is still sore. The incisions, especially the one on my right hand side, really sore. Yeah, not much more of an update. Still in a lot of pain, but I'm noticeably a tiny bit better than I was previously. So I really hope that it continues to go up from here. So yeah, keep you updated, but slightly more positive today. Slightly. So it's day 5, and this is probably going to be my last vlog video thing, and then I'll do like a little recap of recovery, because obviously I'm definitely not all the way there, but I am happy to say that I am a little bit better. I am up and going today in like the smallest sense of the word. Like, I managed to walk downstairs and I watched a movie with my mum, and I mean that was kind of it, to be honest. And then I came back upstairs and I've just been sitting here. I did make a big mistake earlier, and I started to get like a little bit like too, oh I'm fine, and I reached down to grab a drink that had been left on the floor, and it hurt so badly. So I'm definitely not great, but I'm so much better than I was before. Like, I'm able to sit up and go back down again on my own without crying in pain. Last night I woke up and I'd rolled onto the side, and I mean, every other day this week I've laid like flat on my back with my head up, like not moving, waking up every hour in pain. And I slept all through the night last night. I did have some codeine before I went to bed, but only 1 pill of it, so I haven't had any today. So I'm up and running. I mean, definitely not running, but I am improving, which is nice, because I must admit at the beginning of this week I just couldn't see an end. I couldn't see it getting better from this. I just saw pain, and it was so much more painful than I ever imagined. And I'm still not able to like sit all the way up or like walk too much, but I've been able to walk downstairs. I ate a proper meal today. I ate some tomato pasta, so my appetite is pretty much back. I think my appetite is quite normal now. Everything's working as it should, And yeah, I'm feeling quite a lot better, a lot more optimistic about getting better as well, because yeah, this week I've been feeling pretty low from just feeling so ill. But yeah, don't know what else to say. My bandages are still off. Probably good that the cuts are getting air. What else to say? Yeah, I'm eating better, drinking, walking around a little bit more, still in a lot of pain. Laughing is really painful. Oh, and actually no, more painful than laughing is coughing. Every time I'm about to cough, I had a coughing fit earlier. Hands down, oh god, it was the most painful thing today. I had to grab a pillow and like hold it against my tummy while I was coughing, and oh yeah, anyone that's had surgery understands how awful coughing is afterwards. But yeah, I think I'm on the way back. I'm on the way up. So after this, I'm gonna be doing a video where I just talk through my experience. So that's what you'll see next, and this will be the last of my 5 days. This is day 5, so it's Friday now, and I had the operation on Monday afternoon, and I'm now starting to feel a tiny bit better. So there is light at the end of this tunnel. So yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. So I got to the hospital at 7 a.m. in the morning, which meant leaving the house at I think 5:30. And I was very scared. I checked in, I waited, and I quite quickly saw my not surgeon. The first person I met was a doctor. Actually, that's a lie. The first person I met was someone from a study, because it's also a research hospital. So they wanted to know if I wanted to be part of the study, and I was actually going to be part of the study. So, but I only donated the endometriosis cells they were already removing, but I felt comfortable with that, and I want to do anything I can to improve the chance of someone getting this diagnosis easier than I did. So that's the first person I saw, and the second person I saw was a doctor who went through the whole notes. She explained the surgery to me, told me, you know, that they would be making these incisions, what they would do, and also in the worst case where they would have to cut, and just explained it all to me, and I signed that off. And then I met the anaesthesiologist, and he was just lovely. And as I already said, the thing I was most scared about was the general anaesthetic. So the fact that this anaesthesiologist just put my mind at rest. I had a sore throat before surgery, so I was scared it might stop me from having it, but he was still willing, said it was safe to go ahead. So that was all ticked off. And then the next thing, I got told I'd be waiting. To be fair, I knew I'd have to be waiting. I was already prepared for that. I was definitely already prepared that I would have to wait for my surgery, but I found out I was number 5, so there was 4 other people before me. And one lady was going in at 9, and that I would probably be going in at around 1 o'clock. So I hadn't eaten before I'd gone in, and I also hadn't drank anything since 12 o'clock the night before, but he told me I could then drink water up to 11 o'clock, and because I was on antibiotics for my throat, to continue taking my antibiotics. So I did that, and I waited, and the wait was this probably the scariest bit. I remember just being very scared, and I'd see people going in, and in a way it was kind of nice seeing people come in and out, but you know, everyone's experience is different, and also all the other women there were there for different things than I was, so it wasn't like a way for me to see, you know, what they were like after the surgery, because they were all having different surgeries. Some people were having their gallbladder out. I don't know a few of them. I know one lady was having her gallbladder out. I don't know, I think the person next to me was having a similar exploration than me, but it was for something a little bit different, so I don't know. But one lady got back from her, I was waiting, and I saw one lady get back, and she was like up and going straight away, like walking to the toilet on her own. She was fine, and then she was like, oh, when can I go home? Like she was eating her meal, and she was fine. And not fine maybe, but said she didn't feel any pain. She was up and walking, she tied her own shoelaces, and she was gone like pretty quick, probably after about an hour. So I thought, you know, maybe surgery's not too bad. And it gave me like a weird little sense of, I might be okay. But unfortunately, my experience was very different, as you will soon tell. But it was important to do, and I am still very thankful that I was able to have the operation. So, first things first, they numbed my hands. They put numbing cream on the back about an hour before I was going in, which would just help the pain of when they put the cannula, I think it's called, in your hand. And she also gave me my stockings, which are big yellow socks, basically, that are quite tight around your calves, which help prevent blood clots. And she gave me my gown. I put my gown on, put my dressing gown on, and I did find some slippers too, which are quite fun slippers. So there I was, all ready, and I got let in, said goodbye to my mum. I got to the anesthesiologist, and I also saw the doctor I saw earlier. I was told to lay in the bed with the gown covering me, and I was shaking, like physically shaking. They knew I was scared. They were so lovely. Like, I actually can't fault anybody I met in this hospital on that day. Everybody was kind, everyone was lovely, and everyone put me at ease because I was so scared. And I started not crying, but I could feel tears coming out of my eyes. I was shaking. I just didn't know what was going to happen. And they like called to see if the surgeons were ready, and they opened the door, and I saw the surgeons, and that just made me even more scared. And I just, it was awful for me at the emotionally at that moment. But you know what? It was not as bad as I expected at all. And do not be scared of the anaesthesia. It's honestly, it's the least scary bit. But for me, maybe for a lot of people it is the least scary bit, but for me personally it was what I was so scared of, and it really wasn't that bad. I laid down, he spoke to me, the anaesthesiologist, he told me that he was just putting the cannula in. He said, just keep calm. They were just talking to me, like, what do you do for a living? Like, what would you normally be doing? Just trying to make conversation to distract me from what was happening. And then he just said, oh, don't worry, like, I'm just sorting out the cannula. He didn't even tell me. I thought he was going to do like a count to 10 thing that people have told me they often do, but I think he knew that I was so scared and just so upset that he just did it. So he was just talking to me. He was like, don't worry, like, I'm just fixing it up. And then the next minute he was like, okay, you may feel a little bit drunk. And then suddenly all I remember was I just felt drunk. That was a good way to describe it. Like, everything was a little bit wobbly and it was all slowed down a bit for me, and that was it. Asleep. And I don't remember being asleep. I was scared that maybe I didn't know what that would feel like, but it was like instant. I joked to my mum afterwards that it felt like time travel, because I just remember feeling everything go wobbly, and then the next minute a nurse standing next to me and waking up, and it was literally like time travel. My surgery was 2 hours long. They found endometriosis on one side and they excised it, and I woke up with a nurse telling me, do you know where you are? You're out of surgery. The surgery went well. And I remember her telling me that, and I just remember thinking, phew. I didn't care what had happened. In that moment, I didn't care what they'd found. I was just so happy that I came out of the surgery. But I actually did have a bit of a nasty. I think sometimes different things happen after anaesthetic. For me, it took a while for my vision to come back. They said they'd given me a lot of painkillers and drugs. So they'd said they'd tip me a little bit. They'd given me a lot of painkillers. They'd given me 4 different types of painkillers and 2 different types of anti-sickness. And apparently every single drug they could give me, they gave me. So I was bound to be a little bit foggy, but I couldn't see properly. Everything was blurry and I was really scared, and I remember shaking. And I remember a nurse telling me, like, what do you do normally if you have a panic attack? And I remember saying, I don't normally have panic attacks, but they just gave me loads of water. And I actually, although my memory in the recovery room is so foggy, I just remember the nurses being the most lovely people ever. I remember talking to someone, she was talking to me about holidays, and we were talking about Cornwall, and I remember like spits and spots of conversation. I think I was in there for quite a long time because of my vision and the fact that I was so shaky. But yeah, they were really nice. And then a surgeon came out, which in retrospect, I think maybe they should have waited to speak to me when I was slightly less high, because I was definitely still on the drugs. But a surgeon came out and he told me, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but I remember him telling me we did find endometriosis, we removed what we found, and that was it for me. Suddenly, in that moment, I was like, all these years of wondering, do I have this? What's wrong with me? Why am I in pain? And just wanting answers. And even though it's bittersweet and it's horrible to find out you have a health condition, and for me, the chance, that it might impact my chance of having children and things like that is so devastating, but I just was so happy that I had an answer. And I think people that have this condition that have waited ages for a answer will relate to that. It's just so it's just such a relief, not happiness. I don't think I felt happiness, but I felt relieved that I had an answer and that the pain wasn't in my head and I wasn't insane. Because years ago I even got put in an anxiety support group because they told me my leg and back pain was anxiety related. I have been shrugged off so many times that to finally get told you have endometriosis, this is causing your pain, we found it physically and we removed it. Oh god, I can't even describe. I actually can't describe. I would get upset if I even think about it, because just getting an answer is so important to me. So we waited a while for my vision to come back. I was still speaking to the nurses, they were so sweet. I drank so much water, my throat had never been so sore. I have never felt I have never felt dryness in my mouth like I did then. It just felt like there was no liquid there at all, and I was like constantly like, can I have more water? I had a drip in as well. I was like, can I have more water? Can I have more water? And I remember the lady being like, I'm gonna have to fill this jug up again, and just kept giving me it because I needed it so badly. It did mean I need the toilet sooner, which was not good. They didn't put I don't think they put a catheter in, because after my surgery, after maybe a few hours, I then went to the bathroom, so I don't think I was put one in, but I did. So anyway, after the surgery, I drank lots of water, and finally they were like, is there anyone waiting for you? And I said yes, my mum was waiting for me, and my mum is a big old panicker as well, so she was waiting in the bed, by my bed, in the room that I was in, and they pushed me back in there, and she was so happy to see me because she had been walking around for hours and she'd seen people, because you know I was in a wait of people. She'd seen the people after me come out of their surgery and start like walking around, because they obviously had shorter surgeries, and she'd walk past like bereavement rooms and things, and my mum was a big panicker, so she just thought like, she's not coming out. Maybe that sounds extreme to some people, but when you really panic about something like that, and she'd never had genuine, it's been a big fear for her, which is probably why it was a big fear for me. So I think it was a relief for both of us that it all went okay and the surgery went successfully and I came out. Okay, so yep, got him back in, started slowly being given what I drank more water. Finally they came and they offered me food. The guy was just like the normal guy giving the food to everybody, so I don't think he knew like what I could eat or what I couldn't eat, but I think I was able to eat anything, but just not big. I didn't have a big appetite. I didn't really, despite the fact I hadn't eaten in nearly 24 hours, I think it was 20 hours of no food at that point, I just still wasn't hungry. But they gave me, I chose the only vegetarian option they had, and they had like a little pot of ice cream, and I ate the ice cream, and I remember that being so like cooling on my throat, and I was like, I like the ice cream, but I still only ate about half a pot of it. And then I didn't eat for a while, and then what else did I eat? I tried the bread, really painful, didn't like that, carried on drinking lots of water, and then I kind of nibbled at the mashed potato that came with the vegetable tart, and oh my gosh, after a while that mashed potato was the nicest thing, and they kept saying, do you want us to take the food away? And I was like, no, please don't take the food away, I need it, because yeah, it took me a while to get any kind of appetite, but I obviously did need food. And eventually I went to the toilet. They wait till you go to the toilet 3 times until they let you go, but when they did some checks on me afterwards, they found I had a very high temperature, so they didn't want to let me go initially, so I had to wait a fair while until I got let go. And then that was it. Had the drive home, which I put a pillow, as I'd seen advised on YouTube from other people, on my lap in the car, and even then the car journey was indescribably painful. Like, you know, I've had endometriosis, I've had these pains, I've had these cramps, but it was a different kind of pain. Surgery pain is a different kind of pain. I was so sore. I was just every time I went over a slight bump, I felt it, and it was painful. But I got home, hobbled up the stairs, which was the most difficult thing, with a lot of help. Finally got into bed, and I just couldn't believe the amount of pain I was in, honestly. That first night, in fact, quite a bit after that, but that first night especially, I was scared to go to sleep because I think I still had some of the drugs in my system, and I just didn't feel right. I felt in a lot of pain, but I was home, and that was the most important thing. And in the week after, I actually developed a bit of I did develop an infection, temperature, had another bit of a problem which I'm still recovering from, so I'm definitely not on top form now. But I did want to film and get this video done because it's important for me to have it. I've really wanted to do this. So I will give you a further update, but for now, it is now a week after my surgery. A week and a bit. I'm still struggling with pain. I definitely can't walk far. My mind is still very tired. I'm still on painkillers and they're still making me sleepy, partly because of the infection as well. However, I am starting to see an improvement. Finally! This time last week, and honestly, even up to maybe Thursday last week, even like 4 or 5 days after, I didn't see me being in the state I'm in now then. I was just in such excruciating pain. I could only sit in one very specific position. I was relying on my painkillers. The gas pain was extreme in my shoulders, my back, my chest. My tummy was so sore. like coughing, oh my gosh, coughing, laughing, any kind of pain. Oh gosh, it's so painful. Like, I'm not exaggerating either. It was really painful, but it's getting better. I don't have as much gas pain. I don't have gas pain at all anymore, I don't think. I still have a very sore tummy, extremely sore. I had a shower this morning. As you can see, my hair is actually clean, but it was agony. Like, I actually cried in the shower even a week later because I reached to get my shampoo and I just felt a sharp, horrible pain in my tummy, and I just thought, oh gosh, no, maybe I'm not going to be able to sit down and film this, even though it's literally just sitting up. I propped myself up with pillows. I've got a heater. I've got a hot water pad around my back. I'm definitely still not on top form at all, and I'm probably going to sleep after this, but I am improving and I finally have answers. And to anybody that's got on this far, thank you so much for watching. If you have endometriosis or think you have endometriosis, or you've been through this, or you're trying to get surgery, or you're trying to get answers, please ask any questions at all in the comments, because I think talking about this is so important, and I'm definitely willing to answer or talk to anybody that's going through the same thing. So yeah, please do that. If you found this video even slightly helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and yeah, thank you so much for watching.